Okay, how is the song? There is lot of Josh, right? Do you feel like tapping? Did you feel like tapping? No. I think let's all stand. Let's tap if you want. So it's like you feel like tapping. So there is the basis for our discussion. Okay, the basis for our discussion. It's soothing. మీరు ఇంకొక 20 years తర్వాత ఉన్నా కూడా our amma kachida is that that love is not right. You can it's like Amazon $1 billion whatever billion day discount or whatever stuff they run the show, right? So basically the companies I think you all got right. So you all understood about the PE that you are paying, right? At the end of the day from the previous discussion. మీకు డిస్కౌంట్ లో కంపెనీస్ వచ్చినప్పుడు when you buy and when you hold, that is value investing. Okay, these are by the way not high growth companies. Does whole India grow at 40%, 50% in a year? No. Right? Does NMDC grow like that? No. So these are stable companies, that soothing song, which are blacked out to some extent, but they are available at a particular discount for you. It's not that you have to buy it 150 rupees and 150 rupees car. We can have a okay. Now, can you expect a similar set of returns from this? Sometimes yes, sometimes not. Okay. So this is one style of investing. Value investing is one style of investing. Where what you can do, going back to the screen, I'm not going to get into the details. You can do a filter. What is the industry standard and then what is the existing PE? Look into those companies, whether they are old age companies or new age companies. Okay, these are little bit of old age companies. Okay, guys, got it? Perfect. Now, what is the new age companies, right? By the way, again, disclaimer: I'm going to show a couple of company names here. Not a record at all. Please don't blame me if you put money into that. So there are a couple of themes, right? These are the high growth themes. So financialization. Everyone is investing in SIPs. Everyone is investing in mutual funds. What is happening? Real estate for double level, people are moving slowly money into financial markets, right? So now what is happening? The AMCs, the mutual funds are growing. The exchanges are growing. BSE, NSE is growing. CDSL, your depository participants are growing. Angel one, the broker is growing. So it's mostly the financial theme, right? Now, where do people used to invest? People used to put money in gold, real estate. Now, most of the people are slowly moving towards the markets. But then the number of demat accounts, the exponential growth, right? So financialization is the new growth thing. You are getting it, right? So these companies, these AMCs are growing at 30%, 40%, 50%. And people are coming all of a sudden and they are investing. You are getting it, right? This is an example of growth. So you need to identify themes. This is going back to our sort of commoditization theme and also the theme now what is happening around you. And then identify companies within that. Okay, financialization is one thing, and make in India EMS, right? When I mean by EMS, this is electronic manufacturing services. How many of you know Dixon? How many of you traded Dixon?
Not traded.
Okay, everyone knows. Couple of guys use Dixon, right? So Dixon actually does mobile manufacturing for India and for the global companies at this point of time. We'll get to the chart in a bit, but what I'm trying to say there is when this China thing has happened, there are some industries which actually moved, especially Make in India theme and all that stuff. In that theme, Make in India EMS, electronic manufacturing, is one of the things. That is again a high growth theme, right? Because we discussed everyone wants phones, and the twist of the story is phone everyone wants new designs every year, right? I think most of us change phones every 2, 3 years, 4 years. I think these Gen Zs, with due respect, I think they want phones every year. Okay, so the potential to grow in that space is high, right? Again, a growth thing. Make in India renewables, right? I think Bondada is the best example of that. The renewable thing. Similar to that, the Quarry energies, premier energies. So these are all the themes, right? Electricity, one typical thing, but also at the same time solar, renewable. Okay. So you need to start identifying some of the things. The newest tech, right? The Zomatos, Swiggies, the Paytms, the PB fintechs of the world. Okay. So they are again growing at a very faster pace. China plus one I mentioned. Healthcare ecosystem. I think this is one thing. Again, don't quote me there. Don't blame me. I think healthcare is one space that you can keep a track for the next 5, 10, 15 years, right? The simple logic is, I think India is a very young population at this point of time. We all will start aging, by 2035, 2040, 2045, right? When we start aging, what is happening, right? We all need healthcare services, and especially I think being the largest diabetic country, one of the largest diabetic country, and I think unfortunately, the cancer cases are on rise. The oncology is actually gaining a lot of momentum in India. Again, unfortunately, but healthcare ecosystem is one thing that you can keep at track. If you see Apollo hospitals, Narayana Hrudayalaya, Rainbow, KIMS, every healthcare has given exceedingly good returns and will continue to do well. Again, not a record, do your DD. Okay? Healthcare as an ecosystem, one, ఇప్పుడు యంగ్ పాపులేషన్ ఉంది, బట్ స్లోలీ we will start moving towards to the old age thing where China is there at this point of time. Okay, so that's like one thing that you can keep at track. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is there is this value that typical companies, the old age companies, these are the new age things, right? You need to start identifying companies in this, on how you can identify.
One line comes. Today's tech, what is L2P? Last week.
Don't worry too much. So, okay. So, these are some of the companies, right? Again, you can take a note, but don't blindly invest into those companies. So, one thing what we generally do, right? When we look into the new age themes or where we invest, as I think Harsha mentioned, what is the growth of these companies? I just mentioned, right? The pattern, if you see the pattern year-on-year growth of these particular companies, right? GE, I think we discussed in the morning, 116% growth, right? And then I think PB Fintech, which is the policy bazaar, the insurance platform, it grew at almost 233%. Similarly, the case technology, Amber, Quarry energies, we just discussed the renewable, right? It was growing at 90%, right? These are like rapid growth companies. Okay, compared to that, these are like typical old age companies, right? If you see here, see TCS, people when they ping me and then ask, sir, TCS can invest shares in Infosys. That is like why? What is the reason? Sir, growth in the sir. I mean, the growth momentum of the company has sort of plateaued. Okay, so if you see, I'm not saying that you cannot make money in this particular stocks, but you have to figure out, going back to what Harsha said, right? Go back to the screen here and do this assignment. What is the PAT year-on-year growth? Which are the companies which are growing more than 30%? Which are the companies which are growing more than 40%? Okay? That is your stock list. Then do the rest of the work, to what we discuss in the fundamental stuff and we discuss technical in a bit. So similarly, if you see here, right, some of the companies, Asian Paints. I think Asian Paints is one of the disruptor, for the investors in the last 4 years. But Asian Paints is one of the darling of the market, at one point of time. But what has happened? Multiple things has happened, right? Their growth has plateaued. Birla has come in. There is so much of competition. They were not able to cash it. They were not able to do a lot of stuff. See the amount of growth what Asian Paints has, right? Minus 5.9. Would you stick to that company? See, people like I think what Prasad Dasari has said, right? As humans, what we have is, sir, very good, sir, very good, sir, very good, sir. Obviously, hope is not wealth creation. There has to be logic. When someone asks me, okay, fine, I take your point. What is the logic? Sir, Asian Paints much company, sir. Okay, sir, much company, and what is the growth? Did you look into those numbers? What is the growth potential there? No one has any answer. Now today, once you step out of that room, you will have an answer. Where? Go back to screen. What heard in the last 2-3 hours, go back, check out the numbers. If someone asks me, right, can I invest in this stock? The next time what we are going to ask is, what is your logic? You have to come with the logic. You have to tell, sir, this company is growing at XYZ. Can I invest or can I not invest? Okay, you are getting the point, guys, right? The new age companies and then old age companies. Already platinum companies, but the new age where the growth is happening, the new things, that is where we will put our money. Because these are the wealth creators, right? I'm not saying you will have a straightforward wealth creation journey there, but these are the wealth creators for you. Okay. What next? I'm going to show another slide again. So we did some work, and these are some of the companies which we feel where we can expect 50% earnings growth, FY 25, 26 and 27. Again, anything can happen in the markets, don't go by these names. But the point I'm trying to make here is you can connect with the themes that we discussed here, right? The new age tech themes, auto, the software, the manufacturing, the US themes, all this stuff. The capital markets I mentioned about angel one, etc. Yeah? Cool. Renewable power I mentioned about Wari Premier. Specifically one company which we personally like, again with proper disclaimer, is Zen Technology. How many are Zen Technologies? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, lovely, nice. Okay, so you're an insider or something.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, just a little bit of background about Zen. Zen is a defense company based out of Hyderabad, run by an exceedingly good management team, Dr. Atluri. What they do is, they do anti-drone systems and simulated systems, especially with Indian IP. Okay, I think somewhere the discussion came about defense. Now what is happening with defense is, Israel, Russia, and all that stuff. So how many know what has happened in? Where did this stuff happen? In Qatar or Lebanon, right? With what has happened with Hamas. You guys know that story? Do you remember anyone?
Yes,
sir. Lebanon, right? So what has happened was, they hijacked the software and they actually, sort of assassinated the Hamas, some of the Hamas leaders, which was done by the Israel intelligence agency. So primarily there are two things in defense. One is a software thing and one is a hardware thing. Okay. What people have come to realize is, both needs to be controlled by the the country itself, because tomorrow anything could happen. Man drone spike which is a hardware. But what if the software is controlled by someone in China or someone sitting outside? That's a disaster for us, right? So the one good thing with Zen Technologies is they actually do both software and hardware. Again, not a recommendation, do your DD. So, the orders have come down now because, after ops in the, government has done little bit of an emergency procurement and they were not able to get the orders. This is also the right time, to start looking into the stock. They are very hopeful that the orders will grow, at a very rapid pace in the coming years. That's like one solid example where you can sort of identify these sort of companies, right? Do some research, etc. Okay, perfect. I think any questions here? Right? Okay. Now, what has happened, to be frank, is even though there are new age tech companies in India, right? India is still filled with the old age industries, etc. and all. The See, the FIs are not getting excited. If you ask me in a personal, of course there is rupee depreciation and all, and we will not get into that topic. But ఇప్పుడు మీకు అక్కడ Nvidia ఉంది, ARM ఉంది, తర్వాత there are a bunch of these companies which are super exciting for them, right? They put in money and those valuations itself is not even, their valuations exceed the GDP of India, to be frank, right? So when they can make so much of money, they also look for companies in India on a similar basis. But unfortunately, India doesn't have any AI company or a semicon company which is publicly listed, traded, and which is even yet to come. There is long way to go. So what people are doing is people are nitty picking and saying, okay, hey network, this is something into semicon, let's put money, which is exactly what has happened in network. Okay, so to answer your question, the AI bubble and all, it's mostly isolated to the United States market. India, I don't think we have a long way to go, to get to that stage. This is very simple, one simple word, how the price is moving on the chart, and how the price has moved on the chart, and based on that we will predict how the price will move from there. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, now technical analysis, want to project this one. Okay, please see this one. Okay? The chart always tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Last statement kadu, veteran trader statement. Okay. By the way, from here on, we will think like a trader. We will not think like an investor. So far, what we have done from morning, the thesis building, fundamental analysis is all your investor thought process. So first morning discuss chesam kada, we two things, intraday and then swing trade. We are getting into that mode. Okay. So dani dini combine cheyakandi, dani వదిలేసేయండి దీంట్లోకి రండి. Okay. So chart is nothing but a reflection of human emotion. Market పడినప్పుడు ఎలా పడుతుంది? I don't have. Sorry. It falls suddenly, right? Why does it fall suddenly? Again, who is behind that?
Operators.
Humans, right? We are all humans. We are emotionally driven. Okay. How many have? Does humans have super logics? We might have super logics, right? But we have emotions. Screen మీద చూస్తాము -5,000, -10,000, -20,000. అంతే. Sell. ఏం ఆలోచించు. Yes or no? Right? So, why technical analysis works better is, as I mentioned before, human behavior over a period of centuries or generations, has never changed, will never change. Sorry, has never changed, is not changing now, and will never change. Okay? My grandfathers and my fathers, if they have done the trading, they would have done the same thing. We are doing the same thing. మన కిడ్స్ మన గ్రాండ్ కిడ్స్ ట్రేడింగ్ చేసినా కూడా అదే చేస్తారు వాళ్ళు. I'll quickly touch upon support and resistance, and then I'll pass the stuff to Prasad sir. I don't have a call actually. Okay, so let me quickly show it. What is support? What is resistance? Anyone? What is support? What is resistance?
Support means
చెప్పండి సార్.
మనకి ఏదైనా లెవెల్ కావాలనుకుంటే అక్కడికి మనం సపోర్ట్ లెవెల్ అనేది ప్రీవియస్ గా ఎక్కడ వరకు వచ్చింది ఆ లెవెల్ సెట్ చేసుకుంటాం. దట్ వాస్ ద సపోర్ట్. రెసిస్టెన్స్ ని ఆ ప్రీవియస్ గా ఎక్కడ వరకు వెళ్ళిందో సో దాన్ని బేస్ చేసేదా అని చెప్పి సెట్ చేసుకున్న రెసిస్టెన్స్.
Perfect. I'll talk in a very simple English terms. Okay. I don't have a ball. Consider this as a ball. Okay. Ball కింద పడింది. ఎక్కడ పడింది? గ్రౌండ్. దిస్ ఈస్ ద సపోర్ట్. ఒక సపోర్ట్ తీసుకుంది, రైట్? ఎందుకంటే కిందకి వెళ్ళదు కదా. It is not going to, sorry, I forgot about the physics crust, whatever stuff. Sorry about that. Ground. This is ground, right? This is support of the price. Got it? Here, price పడింది ఇక్కడ. ఏం జనరల్ లుక్ ఇంటూ దిస్ చార్ట్ రైట్. ప్రైస్ పడింది, ఎక్కడ ఆగిందంటే ఇక్కడ ఈ లైన్ లో ఆగింది. మళ్ళీ పైకి వెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ కింద పడింది, ఎక్కడ ఆగింది ఈ లైన్ దగ్గర. మళ్ళీ పైకి వెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ కిందకి వచ్చి ఈ లైన్ దగ్గర. యు ఆర్ సీయింగ్ ఇట్ రైట్ గైస్? వెనకాల ఉన్నది కనిపిస్తుందండి? If not, I think I don't know. No, you can come. There are a couple of seats here. Okay, so that line, right, in a whatever 2100 line is acting as a support here. Got it?
Yeah.
Now, what is resistance? Now the ball hits the ground. The ball wants to go up. The ball wants to go up, but it is hitting the ceiling. Right? It is hitting the ceiling, and the ceiling is stopping the ball to go further up. Okay? Simple plain English now. Market lo evvaru cheppam. Okay? I am telling you, market lo evvaru cheppam. Okay? So, no, listen. So,
Good.
price is hitting the ceiling, and then it is not going up. Okay? So, in a simple words, that is what is resistance. Right? Ikkada chudandi. This is resistance. Right? What is it? 3276 is acted as one time resistance. మళ్ళీ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఇదే పాయింట్కి వచ్చింది. 3276 ఇక్కడ నుంచి మళ్ళీ పడింది, మళ్ళీ 3276 మళ్ళీ ఎగ్జాక్ట్ ఇక్కడ నుంచి రైట్. సో వాట్ టైం ఫ్రేమ్ అంటే వీక్లీ టైం ఫ్రేమ్ లో కెన్ ఐ సే ఇది బాల్ కి బేస్, ఇది రెసిస్టెన్స్, దట్ సీలింగ్. కెన్ ఐ సే దట్? Cool. Okay. Supported resistance. One simple thing. Who drives all that? What are all the sticks? What is green? What is red?
Bullish and bearish candles.
Speak English. Only English today. Only English.
More number of buyers on that day.
Very good. Buyers and sellers. అంతే కదండి, మనమే కదా. ఇప్పుడు మీ ఇటు సైడ్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరూ బయర్స్. మీరు యూఆర్ ట్రైంగ్ టు పుష్ ద ప్రైస్. ఇటు సైడ్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరూ అరే బై ఎలా పెంచుతారు మీరు, నేను మాకొస్తాం. దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ సెల్లర్స్. These are all the buyers, right? These are all the sellers. Okay? So, stock market lo emantundi meeku, bid untundi, sell untundi. What is bid and sell? There are buyers, there are sellers who are always fighting each other, right? There are more number of buyers, the price is going up. More number of sellers, the price is coming down, right? We will go through chart patterns, once sir completes the, his presentation. But for now, good?
Yes.
Perfect. What do you say?
Where is the ball, sir? Where is the ball? The price is
మార్కెట్ లో ఎప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే we'll see it in the chart patterns also. Now remember this. చార్ట్ అనేది ఒక ప్యాటర్న్ అనేది ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. ప్యాటర్న్ అంటే ఏంటంటే ఒక టైంలో బయర్స్ వస్తారు, ఒక టైంలో సెల్లర్స్ వస్తారు. ఓకే, బయర్స్ సెల్లర్స్ ఏం చేయాలో తెలియకపోతే చార్ట్ మెల్లిగా నడుస్తా సైడ్ వేస్ వెళ్ళాలి. దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ సైడ్ వేస్. When the buyers are coming, it is going up, it is bullish. When the sellers are coming, it is bearish. Chart always performs in all these three ways: bullish, bearish, sideways. Okay, ఎప్పుడైనా we see more chart patterns ఇలా కన్సాలిడేట్ అయినప్పుడు బయర్స్ సెల్లర్స్ ఒక్కొక్క టైంలో ఏమవుతుందంటే ఆ బయర్స్ అండ్ సెల్లర్స్ థింక్ shrink out. Okay, I generally whenever I teach I tell it's like a spring. Do you have spring? I don't know. In any of the pens? I don't know. Okay, think of it like a spring andi. Spring. Okay, ఏమవుతుందంటే buyers and sellers will come together. They will come together. What happens is buyer పైకి తీసుకెళ్ళాలా, సెల్లర్ కిందకి తీసుకెళ్ళాలా, buyer seller. They will do dancing for a moment. Dancing అయిన తర్వాత there are certain patterns, there are certain indicators which we will learn. ఆ ఇండికేటర్స్ అన్ని మనకి కంబైన్ అయినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే that is when the ball actually hits this roof and goes up. Got it Andy? The ball hits this roof and then goes up. That is called breakout. What we do in the icon stock group, whenever we put some recommendations, I'm sure that some of you might seen the charts, Okay. So most of the times what we do is we trade those breakout stocks. Buyers have, it is supposed to go up, because of various reasons. Fundamental cultures, okay. ఇది హిట్ అయ్యి పైకి వెళ్తుంది, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as breakout stock. ఆ బ్రేక్అవుట్ స్టాక్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయంటే కొన్నిసార్లు దే విల్ బి సూపర్, ఓకే, దే విల్ బి సో పవర్ఫుల్ దట్ ఏమవుతుందంటే మీకు కొన్ని ఇన్స్టెన్సెస్ లో ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ యూ 15%, 20%, 25%, 30% return within no time. You might have seen a couple of my calls and where we generated like 18% return in 2 days, 20% return in 2 days. Chart we identified the stuff that ఈ రెసిస్టెన్స్ ని ఈ సీలింగ్ ను బ్రేక్ చేసి పైకి వెళ్ళే పొటెన్షియల్ ఛాన్స్ ఉంది ఈ స్టాక్ అని మనం ఐడెంటిఫై చేసాం అంతే. అండ్ ఎంటర్డ్ into the particular stock with the stop loss here. This is the stop loss here. ఇక్కడ పెట్టాం స్టాప్ లాస్, సపోజ్ దగ్గర ఇక్కడ పెట్టాం స్టాప్ లాస్. ఓకే అండి, పర్ఫెక్ట్.
So I will explain support and resistance in a different way with an example. మీరందరూ టమాటా కొంటారు. టమాటా బాగా ఓవర్ సప్లై అయిపోయినప్పుడు ఎంత దొరికింది మనకి? 10 రూపీస్. సప్లై ఏదో ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చింది అండ్ సప్లైస్ ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చింది అండ్ పంట ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చింది, షూట్ అప్ అయింది. ఎక్కడ దాకా వెళ్ళింది? 100 రూపీస్ వెళ్ళింది. ఫస్ట్ 50 రూపీస్ దాకా జనాలు దానికి కూడా అలవాటు పడిపోయారు. ఎందుకు? టమాటా లేదు, దొరకట్లా మార్కెట్లో. 100 రూపాయలైనా ఓకే, టమాటా తినడం ఆపలేదు కదా. సో నవ్వు ఏమైంది, కొంత సప్లై పెరిగి మళ్ళీ 50 రూపీస్కి వచ్చింది. అది 10 రూపీస్కి వస్తుందో లేదో తెలియదు, కానీ 50 రూపీస్కి రాగానే మనం ఏం చేస్తాం? 100 రూపాయలు కొనుక్కుంటున్నప్పుడు 50 రూపీస్ దొరుకుతుంది, ఏం చేస్తాం? అనాలిసిస్ చేస్తామా? లేదు, 10 రూపీస్కి వస్తుందో రావో చూద్దాం అప్పుడు కొంటా అని. Exactly, support and resistance works like that. These are the psychological barriers where people start buying and giving value for that particular stock at that particular point of time. After that, because of some fundamentals, the value will change, either downside or upside. Again, they come and then rest at the previous level where they have given the value. 10 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees. 100 rupees is resistance. After breaking 50 rupees, 50 rupees will become support. Previously it was. So in any chart in the world, take my word, you show me one chart, I will show you whether it works out or not. Any chart in the world, any instrument in the world, it moves from support to resistances and resistance to support. And once resistance breaks, it becomes support. And once support breaks, it becomes resistance. 50 రూపాయలకి కొన్నాక కిందకు వచ్చిన 40 రూపాయలు, 50 రూపాయలు వస్తే కిందకు వస్తుందేమో కొంతమంది చూస్తారు, కానీ 50 రూపాయలు కొనరు. Previously it was resistance, but now it has become support. So that's what it is. So every support, so market measurement. So నేను కిరణ్ మీ అందరం కాల్స్ ఇస్తాను కదా, how we will give calls is what is the target ఎట్లా చెప్తాం? Target is the next resistance. Second target is the second resistance. Where previously people have given the value at that particular price and people don't want to buy above that price previously, but now it will check, we will check. But for booking profit, that is the right place, because every support and resistance has a double-edged sword. If it breaks, it goes up like anything. If it doesn't break, it comes down like anything. So support and resistances are not the decision making points. Those are observation points. Underline this. You can exactly in the wrong way if there is a false breakout. So I'm going to talk about that false breakouts also. So understand this, that market moves from support to resistance and resistance to support. Anytime it is going to happen. I will show you all Nifty 50 charts. You can cross it if you want. But I will show 1 or 2. Okay? Yeah. So now it is clear?
Yes.
I think it's not working. Trendlines from the foundation of this approach, they help traders identify the potential entries and exits. Why resistance and support will determine the trend of the market. What is trend? You might be listened so many times, trend is your friend. Isn't it? So latest trend maybe whether it is trending upside or trending downside. There are only two things can happen. Either it should go up, or it should come down, or it should be there wherever it is. Isn't it? Either three of things can happen. Isn't it? So you need to identify what's happening right now with this particular stock. That is the first thing what you have to see. So it's going up, it's very simple. If it is like this, it's going up. If it is like this, just by looking at chart, you can actually avoid a lot of losses. So many people, when it is falling and its chart is like this, they take entries. Why? Because they don't check the chart. That is the problem. Okay, and determining the strength of the trend. This is most important. Whether this trend is going to continue. Further, there are a lot of tools like volume. If trend is going up and volume is increasing, that means that the trend has got strength, and RSI. And there are some other indicators that you can use to finding out the strength of the trend, whether it goes long way or not. Then determining the probable range of price action using supports and resistance. So anyway, trend is up, but still there will be corrections. Why corrections will happen? If something has to go up to 100 to 200, why in between these corrections will happen? Anybody? Lakshmi garu cheppandi. Overbought, oversold. Why? See, manandaram unnam gaani manam bottle size anta different unnayi kada. Avuna? Our stomach sizes are different, isn't it? So we all eat, but some people can eat less and some people will. So some people who has got small stomachs, they will sell it. Avuna? That's why we see the correction. Because everybody cannot hold. So there are three kinds of players in the market. In the next slide, we will see how the trend is going to happen. So determining the existence of non-existence of any patterns, that anyway covered by Kiran, I don't touch it. Determining the probable targets that can be achieved by measuring supports and resistances, and determining the probable entry and exit points along with the stop loss. So these supports and resistance is the heart of any trade. Without this, you cannot do any other thing. Just by using indicators, you cannot trade. First, see the chart, identify the trend, and actually like measure supports and resistances, note down all the points. So that should be your entry point, exit point, as well as stop loss. You should first prepare this plan first if you see any stock first. Okay? So how trend is happening is there is something called Dow theory. This is an ancient theory and it is there and it will be there forever. So there are three stages of any trend. One is accumulation stage. The accumulation stage, the angle, which stage it is. For example, accumulation stage, that the angle is around 20 to 30 degrees. Hardly 10 to 20, 30, maximum 30 degrees. That is, it will be flat like this. This is the stage where all big players are accumulating the stock. People who are long-term investors, fundamental investors, and then people who have got long-term vision and value investors. They all buy, and Warren Buffett buys companies when nobody are looking at it. It's not that everybody buys and then he will buy. So those are the people who will accumulate that particular stock. After some time, the stock will have strength. It is not falling. Somebody like us, somebody like traders, swing traders or some kind of funds, they start accumulating the stock and then there will be sudden breakout of that particular stock, which starts participation phase. 80% move will happen in this in this phase, and that is the phase where we need to catch our stock, where to get the maximum benefit out of this stock. Okay, and identify whether it is in participation stage, whether it is a consolidation. If it is flat like this, it is in consolidation stage. That means like accumulation stage. If it is 60 degrees to 45 degrees to 60 degrees, it is in participation stage. That means so many people in the market are participating and trend is going up. And final stage is called excess, emotion driven rally. Professional unwind their positions and amateurs will enter. Mana gold ide mana nenu cheppinappudu why I said them not to buy is because it has gone up like this. And in any chart you can see this. Any stock you can see this. All three stages you can identify in any stock. There will be an accumulation stage for very long term. People don't even know about that stock. Then there will be a participation stage. All people will jump into that. But after that stage, there will be a stage people are crazily buying. Left and right, everybody. So once I will share a small example. When I am coming back from airport, it was way long back when silver touched 75,000. Right now it is double, but previously high was 72,000. From there it has come to 26,000 levels. Okay? At that time, I took an auto because at that time these things are not there. I got a call from my office about silver prices and all. I'm talking about way back. So then auto guy turned back and asked, "Sir, silver 1 lakh touch avudante kada?" Then I thought this is the time to sell the silver. Why? If everybody talking about it, then it is the time to sell. Take my word. Okay? So this is what will happen. If mass enters and they go crazy, everybody will be talking about it. But already they missed the bus. These professionals will wait for booking profits at the maximum level where these people will stuck up and broke badly. That is what happened in so many decades. These kind of patterns are happening in so many decades and mass is still doing that. Professionals are making money. So this is the game what is happening. So you want to be in the mass or professional?
Professional.
Morning also I asked you the same question. Isn't it? So be a professional. So understand how markets behave. Understand how trends happen. Understand supports and resistances. And take the call based on the knowledge, not just by emotion. Okay? So these are the three stages. Live example, I think gold chart from 2011. You know how much gold return from 2011 to 2018 end? What is the return of the gold? It's negative return. From 2011 to 2019, gold was trading between 25,000 to 31,000 in the 6,000 point range. Where if you see CAGR, it's a negative return even below the bank returns. This can happen. So never go by the emotion and never go by the rallies. It's all about like trying to understand the intrinsic value at that particular point of time. And what happened after that? 2019 to 2025 it is rallying. You know. So almost 1 lakh plus. So this is what can happen. And if you see very clearly, this is all accumulation stage. This is the participation stage, and this is the excess stage where it started correcting now. And whenever the price goes to 45 degrees to 60 degrees, it will sustain. But whenever it goes above 70 degrees, it cannot sustain. It has to come and test this level and again has to go up. So gold has to come and test this trend line and go up. And I'll talk about trend lines, how to draw the trend lines in the next thing. But this is what it is. So basically this is all accumulation stage. People accumulated this stock here. And there is a consolidation phase. And this is the participation phase which is happened at 45 degrees to 60 degrees. Like I told you in the Dow theory, it's going to happen. And whenever it goes away from this particular trend line, obviously it has to correct. Now there is a correction. So when you see any chart, this is visible. Okay? Now you got it? Yeah. Yeah.
In the Dow theory, you have these 3 steps, right? So in the life cycle, how do we know what it is?
And exactly one news will be interpreted in a different way by different people. So generally, buy the rumor, sell the fact. That's what happens in the stock market. Isn't it? By the time you see the news in the TV, already big players bought. Then only it will come into the TV. You are the one who is catching the bus at the last. Okay? So, fundamentals is not news. First point. News is not the fundamentals. And news-driven rallies will not survive. Just it's a volatility, it creates volatility in the market. To tomorrow Trump will come and say, Modi bhai, ho gaya, tuch. Let's start. No tariffs on India. Market may go up, but it will not sustain. Again, it will come back to the trend and take support and then only go up. So this is what you need to understand. No news can drive the market until unless there is a strong fundamental. That is nothing but performance of the company. Okay? And if performance of the company is there, then no news can have a greater impact on that particular stock. So everything reflects in this thing. I think PPT is also there. Where a downtrend tends to pass due to buying interest. That means people are not willing to sell below that price. They are still giving value. And acts as a price floor. Demand increases. Sare 100 రూపాయలు దొరికింది 50 రూపాయలకు వచ్చింది. Okay, people will start buying. There is a demand created because it was gone to so far higher and now it is available at 20. People will not wait for 10 rupees or 20 rupees. They will jump and buy at 50 rupees. That becomes a support. Multiple touches. That means that 50 rupees is not breaking. Every time they are coming 50 rupees, people are buying. Every time it is coming, people are buying. Then obviously what will happen? That 50 rupees will become a strong support for the short term basis until unless fundamental changes. Got it? So next thing is resistance, exactly opposite to that. Okay, I don't have to explain this. And this is what happened, role reversal, support to resistance. That means when support is broken, it often becomes a new resistance. When it breaks, tomato breaks 50 rupees, come to 30 rupees. Now 50 rupees is a very big resistance now for the market. It will not break because people changed their mind and it reflects in the price. Now they will not buy tomato above 50 rupees at any cost. So whenever it touches 50 rupees, it's going to come. This is what exactly happens with the stocks also. Okay? And when resistance breaches, it often becomes a new support. This transition indicates a change in market sentiment. Don't worry, these two PPTs I am going to share. Okay? Even before that I believe. So I think around 2008. So you see this level up to 2020 to 23. I think in COVID fall, actually it has fallen to that level again. Whenever SBI has come to 140 to 50 level, people bought in spite of any condition in the world. That means tomato cannot be below 10 rupees. That's what it did. So this is the support and this is the resistance. And it was very long term, it is in between this, almost more than 11 years. If you see SBI, it is in this range only in the long term consolidation. This acted as a resistance and this acted as a support. And whenever it has come, people bought. And it has not broken for so long, this resistance, it was very range bound. And then after that, it has given a breakout upside. And you see when it has given a breakout upside, again it has tried to come down and took this as a support and started going up. So this resistance has become support for the market now. And like that, if you see here also, it has come all the way. It has faced resistance here, came down, but broken. After that, gone. Again, there is a correction where it has taken support. Previously, which was the resistance, it has exactly taken the support and started going. Now you understood?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
Any doubts? Every support, once it breaks, it becomes resistance. Every resistance, once it breaks, it becomes support.
Sir,
You can see in any chart. Now, that means there are two things will happen. Whenever it starts from support to resistance, if that resistance is not breaking, that means it is not getting strength to break and rally above that. It is very clear that it is not going to change its range. If it breaks and closes above that resistance, then it has changed its trend. Now it is going to go to the next resistance. So the measurement is there. But here, why I have shown this chart is, there are a couple of false breakouts here. See this breakout. I think the pointer is there. No, it's changed. Yeah. Okay. So this is the false breakout. You see, like market has started falling, and actually it is supposed to go down because it has closed almost a few weeks. It's a weekly chart. It's almost closed few weeks with a big gap down opening. But once it has opened down with a gap, it's never come down again. Slowly it started recovering, and then again gone up above the support, previous support, that is resistance now. It has broken and it has tested almost 2 weeks here and took support. That means again it has rallied. So these are the false breakouts can happen at the crucial levels. And why these false breakouts will happen is, first of all, because of the fundamental reason. Maybe I think the results have come back at that time and suddenly stock fallen, but it could not sustain below the support. That means still that stock has got strength. So you need to follow the market. You should not jump and suppose, for example, it has tested some level resistance. Yeah, Prasad garu chepparu kada resistance break ayipindi konech. No. You have to take 100% confirmation whether that resistance has become support or not. అంటే ఏం చేయాలి, అది పైకి వెళ్ళి రెసిస్టెన్స్ బ్రేక్ చేసినాక 2 రోజులకో 3 రోజులకో 10 రోజులకో లేదా 1 month లోనే మళ్ళీ వచ్చి ఆ పర్టికులర్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ సపోర్ట్ తీసుకుని మళ్ళీ పైకి వెళ్తారు. యు అబ్జర్వ్ ఎనీ చార్ట్, యు జస్ట్ డూ యువర్ స్టడీ, టేక్ ఆల్ ద చార్ట్స్ విచ్ యు సీ and see what happened at that time of resistance and supports. So you should not jump like madam adigaru kada. So basically next target ఏంటంటే, first of all it breaks, but the people who are actually sold previously, they will not give up. They will try to pull down the market. Then this resistance should become a support and it should not break downside again. If it breaks down again, excuse me. Hello. You should be very, very careful. There may be a false breakout. Even in this case, this is a false breakout. So this is a clear-cut resistance for so much time, but it has broken, but it is not sustained. It's again came down and again tested the support. So this can happen in the market. So you should be very careful. That's why you have to use the stop losses. Okay, once, even though sometimes you cannot make out the false breakouts also, it's not your fault, it happens in the market because of the volatility. And another tool that what you can check is the volume support. Once it breaks the resistance, whether there is a big volume which is registered or not. So if there is a big volume and breakout happens with a big volume, then that is going to sustain. And whenever there is a very low volume, if you observe here, I think I did not see, I will show you. Anyway, not a problem, I will explain. So, if you see this false breakout period, here and here as well as here, Infosys has registered very low volumes. That means there is no volume support for that breakout. So, this you need to understand, PPT. Everybody are clear about supports and resistances? This is the bottom of a scene and I connected to this particular bottom and that is connected to this bottom, that is connected to this bottom and that is connected to this bottom. I can rest assured that it is going to give respect here also. Why? Because trend line, just trying attaching 2 points doesn't work. It should be 100% confirmed by the third point. Number 1. And you cannot draw trend lines wherever you want. You cannot draw like this. The support trend line always from the bottoms. It should not, no candle or no low should be below this. If it is the case, that is not the trend line. So this trend line is so powerful because market will go away from this trend line, tend to come back and test this trend line and go up. See this. Now Indigo has to test this line. And when there is a reversal formation here, you can buy Indigo. So that's how you need to understand. So drawing trend line has got some rules. You cannot draw, resistance trend line is always from the tops. you attach all the tops and draw the line. And 2 points you touch, third point should give respect. Then only it's a right trend line. I cannot just draw a trend line just like this. It's not a trend line because it's not covering all these things, isn't it? Where 45 degrees is the angle of the trend. Got the point? And you cannot draw the trend line which goes around 70 degrees like gold and other things. That doesn't work because it's going to crash anyway, and then this trend line doesn't have any impact on it. So the trend line is being drawn for the markets which are trending at 45 to 60 degrees angle. Those are the right trend lines. First, I will give you a small this thing like procedure. First, look into the weekly charts. All data. How much data it is available? All data. You first look into the weekly charts and draw your trend lines. Identify supports and resistances. Okay. Make a tabular form. This is how you can take the decision. Actually, I want to show it in one chart, and we will take decision with one particular stock, where to enter and where to exit, what to do right now. Okay. So this is and then go to the daily. Okay, you have already noted down the points in weekly chart. What is the trend line support? What is the immediate resistance? What is the next resistance? What is the long-term picture? And most of them they go and die in intraday charts. Why I am telling die is because they don't see what has happened in the past. Exactly, they think that 1 or 2 candles in the intraday chart and they buy. That might be a weekly resistance. When you look at the long-term chart, you will understand that is not at all an entry point. So going through the long-term charts is always very, very important. First look at it, then go to the daily chart. Okay, and then again do the same thing. Daily you draw the trend line again. That will be different points always. And then again identify the supports. So now you have readings of weekly chart and daily chart. If daily is bullish, weekly is also bullish, buy at the nearby support. Got it? If you want, I'll put it in the group. Yeah. So if daily is weekly, both are bullish, buy at nearby support of the day charts, you will make profits. And hourly, you can actually check for entry points, not to take the decision. Decision should be strictly based on daily charts. I mean, if you are an intraday trader, that's altogether a different ballgame. I am talking about swing trade. So take the element of day chart along with weekly chart. Then if the direction is same of both of them, and next thing is what can happen, weekly chart is bullish but daily chart is in correction. Okay, then what happens? You have to wait till daily chart turns bullish. Till that time, no position. Okay, so like that you have to align with long term and short term chart and then take a decision. Identify the supports and resistances, and it needs practice. It's not that just I said the concept you can understand is you have to draw your trend lines, practice it, and in fact if you want us to help you, you can put it in the group and ask Kiran and me like, yeah, I drawn this, is it correct or not? Okay, so certainly we can guide you if it is wrong and we can correct you. It's not the way, it is the way. Simple as that. You cannot just draw the trend line wherever you want. You have to draw from the bottoms like that. If you want to draw from the top, you have to draw this top and this top. So like that tops. If it is a falling trend, bearish trend, you have to draw the resistance trend line. If it is a rising trend, a bullish trend, then you have to draw the support trend line. But you cannot draw just like that with a small. You cannot just draw like a line like this or like a line like this. So it has to connect as number of points as possible. Yeah. Okay, can you open one chart? This has given respect, and it is going to give respect here. Maybe I think market will consolidate like this, and both this horizontal support as well as this trend line we meet at this point. This can be a very good buying point for Siemens, and also we need to check the fundamentals. Number one. Number two, here already Kiran drawn. This is the support as of now, and this is the resistance. And previously you see this is the support that has become a resistance now. Can you see this?
Yes.
This is the support.
Yeah.
It has rallied at 70 degrees, then there is a correction. I already told you this is an excess which is happening in its stock, and it has to correct. It has corrected all the way more than 80%. It's going to happen. Whenever market rallies at 80 degrees or 90 degrees angle, maybe late, but it's going to happen. So don't buy stocks which rallies vertically. It's mainly because of the news, because of the euphoria, because of some kind of craziness in the mass. Otherwise, stock has to move at 60 degrees angle. It's a good, healthy way to go up. And then 45 degrees to 60 degrees is the trend that it need to pick up. And it's a very, very long journey for that stock. See that Indigo. It has gone all the way with that trend, 45 degrees. It's never broken that trend line again. Isn't it?
Yes.
So you need to understand this. If you want to ride a long-term wealth, you have to identify the trend and be with the trend. And whenever it comes to the trend line support, buy the stock again, average it. If you are already created wealth, average your wealth. Certainly it's going to go up from there. But if it breaks below, wait. Whether it sustains below that or not, you need to wait for not 1 day, 2 days, maybe a week. Then 100% take confirmation, then only take your actions. Every support and resistance are the very important critical points to observe, not to take the decision. Decision is taken by you. But those are observation points. So many people do mistakes here. They have a concept that support and resistance. And whenever it just comes to support, they buy. But this time, support may break. And if it breaks, it's like suicide. Because it's a strong support, it is not supposed to break if stock is strong. But something is wrong with the stock, that's why it is broken. That means it is going to fall like anything. So, just don't jump before market gives action. Let market do whatever it has to do, follow the market. Don't try to dictate the market. Morning also I told you. So you have to be patiently. So whenever some stock is reaching to the support and reaching to the trend line support or horizontal support and resistances. So be careful, observe careful and see price action. You will understand. You will understand whether it is breaking that or not breaking that. Maybe take 2-3 days time to take the confirmation. Then jump into that. Got the point?
Yes.
At least you have a safety here because support, and if you buy at support, your stop loss is very small.
Yes.
Isn't it? But if you buy at resistance, what happens? Next to support, there is no support. There is no stop loss. So your stop loss will be huge. And in between anywhere it is going to hit. Because market tends to move from supports to resistances and resistance support. No other way. Show me one chart which is not like that, I will accept. My last 30 years journey in this, I did not see single chart which has not respected this principle. So obviously it's going to happen. So you cannot put stop loss as you like. You have to put a stop loss of a technical point which should be a strong support. Below that, you have to keep your stop losses. Got the point? So in this you need to practice. Then only you will get. And for that we are ready to mentor. Kiran and me, we are, behalf of you, I am promising. So we are there to mentor you, guide you. You can ask in the group, or you can even ask in the personal windows. Not at all a problem. We will teach you how to take the decisions because it's not one day course. This entire from morning to now, whatever we cover, it may take even 3-4 days minimum. So obviously we try to pack it as quick as possible. But still, you have to practice and get back to us so that we can continue this lending journey.
I think to practice we need those PDFs and PowerPoints.
We will send you the PPTs. That's not at all a problem. But even though PPT will not teach you,
Yeah. Just to review.
you have to get into the chat, draw your lines, and get back to us. Take the confirmation whether you are right or not. That is only the way that you can learn.
Sure.
Okay, but I will share the PPTs in the group. Okay. So, any doubts regarding supports and resistances and trend lines? Anyway, Kiran is going to expand that further. So, thank you very much for patient listening.